What's up, everybody? This is my favorite day of the week. It's Friday. It's the end of the work day. The weekend's beginning. It can't get any better. Currently, I'm heading to get the children some food on my way home. And thought I'd kick this podcast off while I'm traveling, because me and the kids are gonna spend the night in the living room and watch scary movies and things like that, so I might not have time to record a podcast later. And I did say I would have one today. In fact, since I love Fridays so much, I'm going to go ahead and commit to a video every Friday. It could be a podcast. It could be one of the monster hunting videos. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and commit to uploading a video every Friday for you all to watch. And I want to thank everybody for getting the channel to just over 70 subscribers and over 10,000 views. That is something I never imagined, but it makes me very happy, and I want to thank all of you all for it. Today I said that I was going to talk about the falk or folk, but I'm going to say falk because it's spelled F-O-U-K-E, but I think locals in Arkansas pronounce it as folk. But the Falk County monster, better known by its name on film, the Boggy Creek Creature. And I want to say before I get too far into it that I need to be more careful when I'm announcing podcasts and saying that I'm going to speak on one specific topic, because that's just not how my brain works. My brain is all over the place sometimes, and I am going to talk about the Boggy Creek Creature, but I'm also going to talk about the movies that deal with the Boggy Creek Creature, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and maybe some other things. So stay tuned, and we'll go over it all in a minute. So the Boggy Creek Creature really came to national prominence with the film The Legend of Boggy Creek. And it's really, honestly, a masterpiece. It's done as a documentary. It's not a true documentary, but they used some of the real people that experienced some of the sightings and some of the interactions with the creature. They just reenacted the encounters. But it's really a brilliant movie. It's got a lot of beautiful cinematography. I can't say it, buddy. I cannot say it. Cinematography. Shows a lot of the beautiful country around Falk County, Arkansas. And that's in the Texarkana area. That's where Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana meet, around that area. And I'll tell you, that movie is something else. So let's go ahead and call it what it is. They call it the Boggy Creek Creature. They call it the Fouke County monster, it's Bigfoot. It's Sasquatch. The skunk ape of Florida, that's also Bigfoot. There's a local story that happened in the mid to late 50s in my area of the world in East Tennessee, around the Claps Chapel area, and they called it the Woolly Booger. The Woolly Booger. But we'll get into that in another episode. But the Woolly Booger, by all intents and purposes, what was described, it was Bigfoot. And I don't know if I'm going to lose some viewers over this, but if you don't, let me say it this way. I don't trust people that don't believe in Bigfoot, because think about it this way. Let's say I was going out in the woods with somebody, and maybe they were going to go film a YouTube video with me in the woods, doing some explorations, and they don't believe in Bigfoot. They could be the toughest person on earth, and have their act all together. If they don't believe in Bigfoot and we run into that sucker, the first thing they're going to do is pee their pants and run off. I don't need that kind of person. If you believe in him and you happen to see him while you're out, you're going to be more prepared. It isn't going to surprise you. You knew he was there all along. You were just waiting for when you would see him. But somebody that doesn't believe in him, hey, what kind of childhood did you have? I mean, that's sad. I'm very sad for you. But anyway, I digress. I believe that Bigfoot is a real being that lives on this earth. I think he's just smarter than most of us and is able to stay away from people. And I don't think he lives all over. Maybe the one that was saw or seen in East Tennessee, maybe it was the only one left in East Tennessee. They could be an endangered species. Who knows? But I know that they exist. And I think most people are familiar with the ones that are seen more in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States, but the Boggy Creek Creature was in Arkansas, which is in the southeastern portion of the United States. And that movie was filmed by a genius, in my opinion. And there's mixed thoughts on this guy, but his name is Charles B. Pierce. And he took hardly any money and made a film that look it up. The Legend of Boggy Creek. He made a film that has mostly positive reviews. It was beautifully done. It had an awesome concept. The concept being the truth. And he put it out there for the world to see. I think my only criticism of Charles Pierce would be that he was reluctant to make Boggy Creek 2. Now, Boggy Creek 2, unlike Boggy Creek 1, or The Legend of Boggy Creek, was a completely fictional movie. And it was a fictional movie to begin with. I mean, the only thing that wasn't fictional about it was there is a Boggy Creek Creature, and the Boggy Creek Creature is prominent in Boggy Creek 2. The legend continues. Now, that movie gets nothing but negative reviews. And I do not understand why. Maybe it's nostalgia. Boggy Creek 1 came out in the late 70s. Boggy Creek 2 came out about 82, 83, that area. Listen, nothing but good things came out of the 80s. I came out of the 80s. But when I was a kid, me and my sister would watch scary movies on the weekends. That's probably another reason that I like Fridays. Is I think it was Fridays that we would watch scary movies. And I got introduced to Boggy Creek 2 because we randomly rented that movie back in the day when you went to video rental stores and rented movies. And I remember we kind of laughed at how cheaply done the movie was. But when I look back on it today and I watch the movie, I still watch it often. I watch it more than I watch Boggy Creek 1. When I look at it now, I see a guy that did all he could with very low funds and made a brilliant movie. He wrote it, he directed, he acted in it, and he gets nothing but bad criticism for it, and I'll never understand it because it was a very well done movie. It's about a professor at the University of Arkansas. Here's another thing I like about Charles B. Pierce is he's very loyal to where he's from, and he's from Arkansas. He loves the Arkansas Razorbacks college football team. I love anybody that loves college football. Come on, go Vols. So he's a professor in this movie that studies anthropology, and he gets a phone call from a police officer in Texarkana saying that he's been attacked by a creature. So he takes some of his, two of his students and one of their friends on a camping trip to try to find this creature. And boy, they run into some things in this movie. And there's some corny stuff in it. But if he had all the money in the world, every 80s movie had corny stuff in it. Let's just leave it right there. But it doesn't deserve the criticism it got. In fact, I wrote down, because I'm poor and don't have a laptop to look at while I'm doing this podcast, I actually wrote out one of the reviews that was written by Mystery Science Theater 3000. And this is all about Boggy Creek 2. It says, "It's the kind of movie that seems to hate you, to wish you active harm." Now listen, I'm not going to say that this review is not hilarious, but I am going to say that it's dead wrong. So it says, "It's the kind of movie that seems to hate you, to wish you active harm, to kick sand in your eyes and make you cry. And for me, this was personified by Mr. Charles B. Pierce, who is apparently responsible for every single aspect, every nanosecond of this cruel and unusual bit of celluloid. He chose to write and play a grim, hostile, condescending, know-it-all of a man, a character who is proven superior to everyone else in the story again and again, who drills his lousy, stinking voice-over narrative into our heads every freaking minute of this film. and who then has the temerity to wrap his movie up suggesting his sour Nazi of a character is really an ecological servant of God. Now, that is a heck of a review, but it's just not right. Apparently, this guy doesn't like the fact that Charles B. Pierce portrays a man in this film. I think anytime that a man is doing manly things, maybe being assertive or something like that, he's going to get negative reviews. I don't understand it, but, you know, we're in the land of the fruits and the nuts now, and that's just how things are. The movie is absolute brilliance. And I would actually put Boggy Creek 2 as my favorite of the two movies. My only caveat to that is Boggy Creek 1 is necessary to watch because it's actually a true story. But Charles B. Pierce, with all that he did for cinema, this guy directed, I think, 13 films. I've seen 3 of the films he's directed, and they were all excellent. Legend of Boggy Creek, Boggy Creek 2, and the Town That Dreaded Sundown. Now, you may have heard of that movie because of the remake that's not really a remake from 2014. I've never watched that movie because there's no reason to, because the first one was so good. The first one was directed by Charles B. Pierce, and it happened in Arkansas. He was faithful and loyal to his home. But we'll get back to the Town That Dreaded Sundown momentarily. But he was also a set director for one of the Dirty Harry movies with Clint Eastwood, and is credited for writing the line, "Go ahead, punk, make my day." I mean, how much more movie epicness can you be than Charles B. Pierce? And I guarantee you 99% of you do not know who I'm even talking about. I'm talking about this guy, Charles B. Pierce. I think he's brilliant. The Town That Dreaded Sundown was about a serial killer that was real and never caught in the late 40s, or mid to late 40s, in the Texarkana area. And he killed 5 people. He attacked 8 people, but he killed 5. And they were all Lover's Lane type deals. And he killed them brutally. And he made a pretty straightforward movie about it. And I'll tell you, the killer on it is a horrifying person. He never says a word. He has a mask on the whole time. But I thought it was brilliantly done. They bring an old grizzled Texas Ranger type guy to try to hunt him down. They almost get him. It's a really good movie, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. If you have Prime Video, I believe it's available just to watch without you even having to rent it or buy it. It's just included with your Prime Video package if you want to watch the original 1976-77 version of The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I highly recommend it. But yeah, so this isn't an in-depth podcast at all about Bigfoot. I just wanted to talk about the Boggy Creek Creature and the movies. And I think watching those movies, especially the first one that's true, can give you a better idea of what I'm talking about, because I could give you everything that happened in that movie but I would rob you of the joy of watching these gems. And you really ought to take time out of your day and watch these movies. They're excellent. They really are. They're excellent. So, that's your homework for this weekend, is figure out a way to purchase these movies or watch them for free somehow if you can. I think Boggy Creek 2 is free on YouTube. Just look it up if you want to watch it on YouTube. And like I said, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, that's included with Prime Video if you have it, and you'll enjoy it. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. Probably go ahead and make an appointment with a psychologist and work your issues out, and then rewatch the movie and you'll enjoy it. But I've had a good week. Like I said, this channel is booming right now. We've got over 10,000 views. I can't believe it. And it's nothing that I did. It's you all. Thank you so much. I had a good week. I attacked Yellow Jackets yesterday with gasoline. And some of you are going to be upset about the environment and maybe the treatment of Yellow Jackets. But when you're poor, you don't go to the store and buy wasp spray. You grab something handy and you use that. And I had gasoline, and I poured it in the ground and I suffocated those suckers. And I hope they suffered a little bit before they died. I hope their children were screaming and that the tears were in the mama and daddy Yellow Jackets' eyes. Honestly, because those are the most evil creatures known to man. We probably should make a movie just about Yellow Jackets. It should be the perfect horror movie. But anyway, enjoy your weekend. I really need to get out and about filming locations where we can do some investigative research, either on ghosts, monsters. I hate calling them monsters because Bigfoot's not a monster. He's a cryptid. Cryptozoology. He's a real creature, okay? And he's out there, and the true believers know it. And I think I'm destined to be the one to find him. And I'll bring him in alive. I'm not going to shoot at him. I'll take him by the hand and bring him on home. Like Harry and the Hendersons. Anybody watch that movie? That's a cinematic gem as well. But thank you for watching this podcast. I'm going to get home, feed these kids, and figure out a movie to watch with them. Get them off their tablets and get them watching some good old-fashioned scary movies that'll keep them up all night. Because that's what you do as a parent. You want to ruin your kids' psychological well-being and let them watch some scary movies. It's good for them. And it's good to get them out hunting for monsters. Because that's what normal people do. Once again, thank you for watching What's Haunting the Hursts. You guys are awesome. Like and subscribe. Share it. Do all those good things. And we'll catch you on the next video. We've done 2 podcasts this week, just like I said we would. And we'll do 2 podcasts next week. And as I said, every Friday we're dropping a video of some sort. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful weekend.